Welcome, listeners. You are tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey. We are broadcasting on CIVL on 101.7 FM. CIVL is located on the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation.
Yes, it is.
We broadcast every Tuesday evening from 7 to 8 o'clock Pacific time across the Fraser Valley in BC. But you can also catch the show live and participate in our chat room if you join us on the Awaken Your Psychic Abilities Facebook group or my Leslie Phillips, Dr. Leslie Phillips YouTube channel. And if you do that, if you join us on one of those, you will actually get to preview the show because we pre-record the show and a few weeks ahead of time. So you will get to see exclusive content before it hits the airwaves.
Bang!
Yes. Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality. And the show is now about 6 years old, actually, and we've
It's almost 8 years old.
Is it really? And
yes.
we've had hundreds of episodes by now, haven't we, Corey? What episode number are we up to?
315.
315 episodes of the radio show, which is available on all major podcasting platforms. And if you go to drlesliephillips.com website, you can catch all 315 episodes. Isn't that amazing?
One after the other.
Anything that you could possibly be interested in the realm of metaphysics and spirituality, in the realm of meditation, intuition, development, healing, and other things, you put any search term in under that umbrella and you will find more than one episode that you can listen to and learn something about metaphysics and spirituality. So tonight's show is to do with karma. And the exact title of the show is karma really just the law of cause and effect? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about karma. And apparently the word karma, the translation is action. And it says that for every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And I think quite commonly in the West, maybe the East as well, there's this idea, therefore, that if whatever you do in this life is going to be revisited upon you in the next life, or whatever you do now is going to be revisited upon you in the future. And so we tend to think about if we are mean to somebody or we do something nasty to somebody, don't do that because it will come back to you tenfold. In the Bible, it's as you sow, so shall you reap. And it really says the energy that you put out is what is reflected back at you through the game or illusion of time and space that we are playing on this planet. So it's not, the word action is not just about action. It's not just, well, I slap you across the face, so now I've got a face slap coming back at me. It's the energy that you are radiating, the energy that you are emanating, the thoughts that you are thinking, that's energy that you're emanating, the emotions that you're feeling, it's part of your vibration. The baggage that you are carrying in your energy field is part of the vibration that you are emanating. And so everything about you is radiating and putting out a a signal, a statement to the universe, and that is being reflected back at you. And sometimes it's being reflected back at you rather quickly. Other times, maybe it will be reflected back at you at a future lifetime, for example. And so it's also very closely related to the law of attraction. It's kind of the same thing when you think about it, because the law of attraction says whatever is in your vibrational field is what will be reflected back at you. And therefore, you can consciously manifest what you want to manifest by being in charge of your vibrational field. Saying exactly the same thing as karma, the law of cause and effect. As you sow, so shall you reap. And so the idea is become the vibration of that which you want to experience in your life. So build that vibration internally, and then it's going to be reflected externally. So if you want to be happy, if you want to have a life filled with love, then cultivate the vibration of happiness and the vibration of love energetically within you. And then the universe is going to rearrange itself to reflect that back at you. Another name we could call this is the law of mirroring. Our particular version of reality on this planet is based on having who we are mirrored back at us through time and space. So if we weren't in physical reality, everything would be instantaneous, and there'd be no separation between the energy that we put out and the result that we get back. So we've embedded ourselves in this time-space reality to have this very focused experience where there's a delay in what we put out being reflected back at us, because we're embedded in time and space. So we put out a vibration, a cause, and then time and space separates us from the result that then mirrors back at us. And so the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, the law of mirroring, the law of attraction, they're really all talking about the same idea. And the law of, manifestation or creation, how we can consciously create our reality. So the other way that we can turn that around and say, whatever appears in your reality, which appears to be external to you, is actually inside you. It's actually a mirror reflecting back at you. So many of us look around in our lives, don't we? And we say, I don't like that. That shouldn't be here. I don't like my job. I don't like my boss. I don't earn enough money. This relationship sucks. Why is my friend being such a miserable person? And we think it all has to do nothing to do with us. We're just some innocent victim that these things are happening to. But we're here to learn that we are not separated from that which appears in our reality. We are actually responsible for that which appears in our reality. And so anytime you look around and you see something that you do not prefer, turn within instead of pointing the finger and ask, what would I need to believe in order for that to exist in my reality? What energy would I need to be vibrating at in order for that energy to be reflecting back at me? Then change what you find within you to change what's reflected back at you from without. So really they're the same thing. To us, they appear separate though, because of time and space. Now, also associated with what I was just talking about, conscious creation. Because in the law of karma that we're calling it today, you can be an unconscious creator or a conscious creator. You can realize that this is what's actually happening and start to take the reins and drive the direction of it, or not. And if not, it's happening anyway. You're just completely unconscious of it. Now, as you become conscious of it, and as you take the step to say, wow, well, this is actually very empowering. All I need to change is myself. I actually don't need to worry about all these other people or the rest of the world. I just focus on myself, then I can create change. One needs to be in a state of acceptance for change to occur. So if you are in a state of resistance, it's not going to happen, or the rate at which it shows up in your reality is going to be delayed. If we're in any level of resistance or judgment to something that's showing up that we don't prefer, we are actually cementing it in our reality through the resistance. So we need to enter a state of flow, a state of acceptance of what is. And accepting what is doesn't mean I condone it, I agree with it. It just means, well, that's the way it is right now. I acknowledge that. I accept that this is what is. And from the state of acceptance, where you're putting up no resistance, then the cycle of change can continue. That this energy state that you are not preferring can shift into another energy state. And of course, that brings me to another part of the law of karma, is that everything in this world happens in cycles of growth and change. Nothing stays the same. Eventually, everything does change. And so your life here on earth is constant cycles of growth and change. Like I said, you can ride that wave of change gracefully. You can steer the ship of change by developing a level of mastery over your energy, or you can resist the change and be dragged screaming, and it can be a more painful process. And of course, one of the things that I encounter quite frequently in the work that I do is people who are stuck in a certain situation. You know, I have a job I don't like, and there's always the boss who doesn't appreciate me, you know, and there's always the person that takes advantage of me. And so, you know, I leave this job because I don't prefer that. And then I go to the next job, and there's the boss who doesn't appreciate me and the person who takes advantage of me. And I say, oh, I don't like that. I leave that job and find another one. And there's the boss that doesn't appreciate me and the person that takes advantage of me. And on and on and on. It seems like madness. And so wherever you go, there you are. If you do not change yourself, it doesn't matter if you change your job, you change your relationship, you change where you live. Wherever you go, there you are. And so if you want change in your life, then you need to change within. Okay, so people say, oh, it's karma. It must be karma because this is always happening to me, round and round and round and round. Well, yes, it is, but it's not necessary. It's not that there's this lifetime, a long time, years and years and years ago, that now has imprisoned you in this vortex of experience. It's something you can change now in any moment by changing your energy. Wherever you go, there you are. So if you don't like what you're getting, change yourself.
I think most people look at karma and think of karma just as strictly the law of responsibility, that you're responsible for your actions, but they take it to a place where it's, from one life to the next life. And that sort of almost can move you away from responsibility. Well, that happened in a different life. It didn't happen in this life. So I'm responsible, but I'm not really responsible for it.
Yeah.
But yet, it's more of being responsible in this life for what you do. And it's not this magic thing that comes along and says, you did that, so zap. No, it's just, you do this is what you get, generally. And I was looking at the laws, and there's like 12 laws that I found. And they're interesting. Law of creation, law of humility, law of growth, law of responsibility, law of connection, law of focus, law of giving and hospitality, law of here and now, law of change, law of patience and reward. And this one here, I'm not so sure I understand, which is the law of significance and inspiration.
Well, that's interesting. I think we've talked about the first 4 of those.
Yeah, we talked a few of them. We talked about change. You've talked about patience. You talked about here and now. You've talked about responsibility. You've talked about growth.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit more about responsibility. I'll definitely talk about significance and inspiration when I get an inspiration about it. But, just a comment on the law of responsibility. Whatever you...
Why don't we do that after the break, Dr. Leslie?
Okay.
The law of responsibility. Can you
Sure.
keep that thought?
Yep.
Okay.
Listeners will be back after these messages. Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey, and we're talking about the law of karma and the many facets of the law of karma. Corey called them the 12. What did you call them? The 12?
12 laws of karma.
12.
So actually, it's not the law of karma. I guess it's the laws of karma.
Yeah, or really it's talking about all of the things that concept of karma reaches into. And before the break, we were talking about responsibility. And truly, you are responsible for whatever you put out there. So you are a divine co-creator with Source. And nobody else is responsible for that, for what you do. Nobody else is responsible for the energy that you put out into the universe. You are. Whatever is done through your body is your responsibility. So if you get drunk and I don't know, go on a rampage, you might be off your head and out of your head and not in your body, but you're still responsible for that. If you channel another being and the being does something while it's in your body, you are responsible for that. So whatever energy you emanate, you put into our system, you are responsible for that. So, yeah, but you're not responsible for anybody else. And we have a tough time, humans, actually, especially not taking responsibility for others, especially probably a lot of the people who listen to this show, because you're all big healers. It's hard to take a step back from somebody else and let them be responsible, isn't it? You know, it's so tempting when you see somebody gone awry in some way, not to take responsibility for that person. But if you take responsibility for that person, you invalidate their ability to be responsible for themselves, and you take away from them the opportunity to learn from their creations. Now, I think one of the other things that you mentioned when you were reading that quick list through was the law of connection.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
So, you know, on the one hand, you are responsible for everything that you do, but you are connected to everything and everyone else. And so everything that you do has a knock-on effect. It radiates out to the whole of creation, every other human being, the entire planet and beyond. And so to be very mindful of your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, your beliefs, your reactions is also a practice that goes along with the idea of the law of karma, because you know you are feeding the entire creation from the co-creator that you are. I was listening to a story about a grandfather telling a story to his grandson. And the grandfather said something like, you know, you've got two wolves inside of you. You've got the white wolf and the light wolf and the dark wolf. And the grandchild said, well, you know, which wolf is the strongest? And the grandfather said, the one that you feed. So where are you directing your energy? Are you directing your energy into the light wolf or the dark wolf? Are you contributing to the betterment of the world? Are you being a source of light in this world, or are you being a source of something else? Because we co-create our reality together. We are interconnected. And if we wish to co-create a new earth for us all to enjoy, then the more that we can consciously focus our energy in a positive direction, the better. Another way of explaining this is, you know, watch the news, read a newspaper, you know, talk to any man in the street, and there's a whole list, isn't there, of what's wrong in the world, you know, whether it's the pandemic or politics or religion or, you know, whatever it is to be worried about. You know, the Chinese are building replicas of American airships in the desert so they can practice bombing them, things like this. Whatever it is, you know, we can get all up in arms and in judgment of this one and that one and this group and that group. What wolf are you feeding when you do that? When you resist anything, when you judge anything, you're actually feeding the dark wolf. But when you manage your energy, when you focus on upliftment, then you're feeding, you know, the white wolf or the light wolf. So everything is connected. And another one you mentioned, Corey, the law of focus.
Mm-hmm. Yes, law of focus.
I think of that in terms of, I already mentioned this, if you were not on earth in a body, you would not experience the degree of focus to which you are able to experience here and now in time, space, reality. That's one of the things that being embedded in this reality, creating a body in this reality gives you, is it's a focal point. You are focusing your energy. You are a multidimensional, eternal being with no beginning, with no end, part of the oneness. But when you project an aspect of yourself here, then there's this very particular focus that's happening. And in a way that's not possible if you didn't have a body on planet Earth. And it's that thing again of, you know, you can focus on specific things and learn from the results that you get from those specific things. And you can steer the ship of your life by the way that you focus your energy. Another way of saying it might be a meditation practice where you, deliberately are focusing your energy in a certain way so as to uplift yourself out of lower vibrations and let go of lower vibrations by focusing on love and peace and gratitude versus fear and greed and anger. So maybe I'll have a look at the one that you were asking about before the break, the law of significance and inspiration.
Correct.
So give me a moment on that one. A way I might talk about that is to talk about how you choose the flow of your life. So it's like riding the wave of your passion. It's like choosing what you prefer, what puts you in the highest healing vibration that you could possibly be in, following your inspiration, following your creative impulse, following what's of significance to you, following that wave of pure positive energy, so that that is expanding for you and for everybody else. So it's the same thing in a way as I was talking about those two wolves. Which wolf do you feed? It's like feeding the wolf of your passion, your inspiration, your personal preference, living the best, most authentic life that you possibly can. And most people don't do that. Most people choose things out of obligation, out of responsibility, out of cultural programming. I'd love to be a musician, but I have to be a bank account manager because I need the money, or whatever it is. I'd like to be a dancer, but I'm going to be a psychiatrist because I need the money. So that's a way that I might explain that one. I think another one you talked about was here and now.
Yep, I think you touched on that already.
Yeah, well, and being in the present moment. The present moment is the point of power. The present moment is the point of power. Your body is in the present moment. Your focal point for creating reality through on this earth plane reality is your body, which is in the here and now. So the more you focus in the here and now through the body, the more powerful a creator you are. And the less that you do that, the more that you dissipate your energy in the past or the future or somewhere other than where your body is, the less powerful you become, the more diffuse and diluted your energy is. And so, you know, what exists for you is right here, right now. Where the clearest feedback actually for you in terms of your life creations is right here, right now. And the point at which you can change anything is right here, right now. We talked about change and the law of change. We talked about how we exist embedded in endless cycles of growth and change, really. And I talked about the idea that of repeating patterns as well, didn't I? That you go round and round and round and round until you realize what it is that you're doing or how it is that you're being that is leading to the result that you do not like. You also mentioned the law of patience. And I think that that relates really to the time and space factor. And this is where a lot of people who are wanting to do manifestation get stuck, because they bring themselves, say, okay, I'm doing it. I'm in the vibe. I'm in this super high vibe. I am believing in myself. I am believing that I can have that relationship that I want. And then, okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, and then the energy down, 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 down. And then they're no longer the vibration of that which they're asking for, because they're expecting to happen instantly. And so the trick is in our reality, because of time and space, to hold the vibration long enough, to be patient for it to for the change to show up in your reality. So that is what we're talking about tonight.
Is it?
I think I've touched upon your 12 laws of karma. Was there any that I missed, Corey?
Oh, I could be. You went around in different ways, so you probably hit them all. I think you did. The only one that there's one there that's called the Great Law, which I'm not sure. I have to read up on that one. The first one's the Great Law.
The Great.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I could read up on it, but
I think that's just the law of cause and effect.
yeah, I think that's
so as you sow, so shall you reap.
Yeah,
to put it
definitely.
in biblical terminology.
Yeah, law of connection, law of humility. Lots of good laws there, actually.
Yes.
So we're going to getting ready for our questions in a couple of minutes, and we'll go from there. We've got a couple already.
That's
and
great.
We've also got the jury says, wherever you go, there you are indeed.
It's true. Wherever you go, there you are.
I think that's becoming a more popular statement these days as well. More people are using that quotation.
And I love it.
True.
It's got a deep meaning to it as well, doesn't it? Because wherever you go, there you are. It's actually waking you up to take responsibility for your energy, isn't it? Wherever you go, there you are. It's an empowering statement. It sounds like a disempowering statement. Oh, I suck. Wherever I go, there I am, and my life sucks because of it. But it's actually very empowering, because it's saying that you have the power to create the life that you want. And if you are repeating patterns, it's because you haven't changed something. If you change it, then wherever you go, there you are. The one that is there will be different. And then the reality that shows up for that one will be different too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I see so many people are going, yeah, but if I get there, I'll be somebody different. It just, once I get this, my life will be different. My life will have changed. My life will be this. And yeah,
well, and yes,
you'll still be there though.
Well, that central core spark of the divine, because really, what is a personality? A personality is a mantle we put on. when we incarnate, okay, I'm going to be this, I don't know, female English spiritual teacher this lifetime. But another lifetime, I don't know, I might be a burly male, I don't know, what can I be? You know, and within a lifetime, once you've reached a certain age, I think if you look back on within a lifetime, you can see that you were a different person at this point and this point and this point and this point. I know I certainly can. And it's just you changing your energy, bringing different aspects of yourself more into focus in the earth plane reality. I used to be a businesswoman with running a lot of male energy. Now I'm not, am I? Completely different. And I think, you know, those of you listening, you can probably recognize how you've changed, how you have changed already. There's not a single person listening that hasn't changed. It's time for a change for us right now. We're going to have a pause for some messages and then we'll be back. Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. It sure is a fast-paced slow. It's a fast-paced slow. It's a fast-paced slow this evening.
A slow-paced fast.
Fast-paced show is what I meant to say.
Yeah, it is. So we already have some questions for you, Dr. Leslie.
Sure. On
different stuff about karma and some other things. And the first one's from Katie. Katie says, my understanding of what karma is how our current life situation, the family born into, where we grow up, etc., are based on past lives and past actions of energy. Can you explain this, or why sometimes bad things happen to good people?
There's two questions in there, isn't there? So why bad things happen to good people? That's question 2. Question 1 is, she says, my understanding of karma is that because of the law of karma, we might be born into a particular family and into particular patterns of relating to specific people. And that's absolutely true. So let's see how we can explain this. You can play a game with a particular soul where you are locked into a game of resistance or judgment. A push and pull, like a cosmic tug of war. In this particular lifetime, you know, I'm fighting you, you should bend to my will. I'm fighting you, you are wrong. And if you don't transcend that, you're still locked into that energy with that particular soul. And until one of you or both of you let go of your end of the tightrope, you will continue to dance back and forward in your incarnations with that particular soul, playing that game of resistance and judgment, or whatever it might be. So that's number 1. Yes, there is a momentum that pulls you back together because you are focused on judging that one, or fighting with that one, or resisting that one. As soon as you let that go, then that magnetic pull into that is gone. Number 2, well, we do incarnate in soul groups. So we tend to play with the same souls over multiple incarnations. And for the purpose of growing and expanding, we will play different characters for each other. And there is an element of choice as well, often, that we will choose who we incarnate with. We will choose our parents. We will have a spiritual agreement with those parents that we're incarnating together. And it may be that, oh gosh, look, we were locked into that game of hate and fear in the last lifetime. So let's have another go at transcending that together. You know, or last time you were the father and I was the son, let's switch it around this time. So absolutely, that is an aspect of what we're talking about. And then question number 2 from Katie was something like, why do bad things happen to good people? So in that question is embedded a judgment. Bad things, good people. That's a value judgment, isn't it? And that's always to say, well, if you're good, then your life should be good and everything should be perfect. Well, what would you learn? If you just came to Earth and went, well, I'm good, everything's good, that in a way, there's nothing to learn. But also, what you think of from your human perspective as good and bad is not where the soul is coming from. From the soul's perspective, there's no good or bad. There is no value judgment. There's nothing about, you know, oh, good person, bad thing happening to them. There is experience and learning through experience. And the soul may play out various dramas in order to learn and expand. And it makes no sense from our human perspective. You know, why did that little boy get run over by a car? You know, that sounds terrible to us, doesn't it? But if we take a spiritual perspective, there may be a drama that everyone has agreed to. That who knows, we can make things up, but maybe the little boy volunteered to teach compassion to his parents. You know, maybe the parents wanted to learn what really is truly important. You know, maybe they were both chasing careers and now they have to spend more time with their child. I'm just making it up, but there can be a higher purpose for something that we perceive as a bad thing happening to a good person. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope so too. Okay. So Katie wants to know as well. She says, as a psychic, are you able to read someone's karma? If so, I'd love to know what you see in my karma or history of it.
I would say any reading I do, it's funny, somebody asked me the same question the other day, like, are you able to read Akashic records? Everything I read is a reading of the Akashic records. Everything I read really is a reading of somebody's karma. So if you've had a reading from me already, Katie, and I think you have, then you've already received a commentary on your karma. Because remember, we are saying that it is the energy that you are, the energy that you are holding in your energy field, the energy that you are broadcasting. So for example, if I've given you an aura reading or read your growth cycle at any point in time, that's all about the energy that you're putting out and the results that you're getting back. So I'm not going to, I think, because we've got other questions, I don't think I'm going to read. We don't have other questions. Oh, okay. Okay, I will read that then. I will have a look at that for you. So give us a moment. I'll look at your growth. So the question was, Corey, can you read my karma? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read your growth cycle, and it is a commentary on the energy that you're putting out there. And what I'm picking up on relates to how grounded you are. And I am seeing that you're not as grounded as you need to be to be fully, consciously, authentically creating the reality that you want. And so this actually brings me to another perspective on this, which basically is you create the vibration that you are carrying in your energy field. So best own your energy field, because if you're not owning it, if you're not present, if you're not grounded, then you're allowing your energy to be filled up with all sorts of things. And that's what's being created through you. So I'm seeing for you that rather than go into this specific thing and that specific thing, in a general sense, you can eliminate karma, any karma, by grounding and releasing everything that is not in alignment with your highest, not in alignment with your higher being. And so what's stopping you doing that? Well, I'm picking up on responsibilities and obligations and programming and all the different things that we were talking about. I should do this. Maybe I prefer to do that, but I should do XYZ. So choose yourself. And then the law of cause and effect can be working in your favor rather than against you. Let's say it that way. All right, next question.
Next question. So this is from Desiree, and Desiree says she's new. And Desiree says she gives her background here. She says I was in an abusive relationship for 8 years, recently got out of it 2 years ago. Met somebody new who's absolutely amazing. We have a 17-month-old daughter. My zodiac sign is a Gemini. My fiance zodiac sign is a Gemini, and my daughter is also a Gemini. Ooh, craziness in that house. I'm a Gemini as well, so I know. And she asks, I would be honored to receive a reading in regards to my growth cycle as well.
Okay, sure. Well, the first thing I'm picking up is actually just a lovely energy. And you told a very nice story, didn't you? I was having a life that I wasn't happy with, and now my life has changed and I'm having a life that I am happy with. And that shows up in your energy. So I'm seeing a lot of actual positive energy around you. And so let's see if I can look at what the growth cycle is. You know what I want to say, it's one of validation and validating your ability to create the life that you want for yourself. And actually you've reflected that back at yourself already. And so it almost feels like you're reveling in the energy of that. And so to me, let's see what else we can say. It just looks really positive. One thing that you might want to learn, if you haven't done so already, is how to ground. And Corey can post a free meditation on grounding, because it looks like grounding all that positive energy would be helpful. But I'm just seeing that the growth cycle is actually one of reaping the rewards, reaping the benefits of of continuing to expand in positivity. Let's say it that way. So, anyone else got a question? That would be great.
Yes, there are. I have one from this, probably be the last one because we're just almost out of time. This is from Bridie. She's just jumped in from lunch break, looking forward to catching the whole replay. Been thinking about our past life session in karma and what keeps showing up in relationships or lack of still, or the lack of still, LOL. There's something wanting my attention, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so Bridie's talking about wanting a relationship, but not manifesting one. And then the last bit was, can you read the last sentence again, please?
There's something wanting my attention, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, let's see what comes up. I'm going to give you a little bit of a healing. I'm picking up on a foreign energy in your space, actually, Bridie. I'll see if I can read what it is. It's attached to the back of your sixth chakra. This might be something that might take a longer session, to be honest with you, but I'll just give you a healing now. But it's funny, yeah, because there's this energy behind the back, behind your back, behind the back of your head. So I can see how you're feeling like there's something wanting my attention, but I can't quite get what it is. And it's boring into the back of the sixth chakra. And it feels like an energy, a really, I always want to say nosy kind of energy. It's got the feeling of examining. So I don't think I'm going to get a lot more in the time that we've got left. I've given you a healing, tried to help move off some of that. And I think it's the same thing that I was saying to Katie. The more you own your space and own your energy, then the more likely you are to be able to create what you're wanting. And the less you do that, the more you give over your space to foreign energy, then that's going to interfere with your creativity. And I'm seeing that there is some specific foreign energy in your space, which is what you're, scratching your head and going, what is that? All right. Any other questions we've got time to fit in?
No, well, that's it for tonight. We got a couple left, but Peter wants to know, have you commented on karma versus other or seemingly same things like the law of attraction or asking you shall receive?
Yes, we did.
If they're not the same, at the beginning, you just replay that, Peter, and you'll get that whole thing. And then Jennifer says, hi, glad tuned in. You're looking wonderful. Found how to feel. I have finally found how to feel into the triad of earth energy and cosmic energies. Thank you. And she wants to know, are you teaching medical energetic healing?
Yes, I am in the process of, and I've actually pretty much done it now, putting together a medical intuitive training program. And I am hoping to write to the people who I know are interested. Is this Jennifer Ashley, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so you should be on the list, Jennifer. When I send my next message about that, you will get to hear about it. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's an amazing program. It's an amazing 6-month program, actually. And I'm very excited. So yes, yippee.
Yeah, and that's it for tonight.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. If this piques any interest in any related subject matter, make a suggestion. What would you like us to talk about next week or the week after? We'd love to hear.
Yeah. Anyway, bye-bye. I'll see you next week, 7 o'clock.
Bye, everybody.